What's good, YouTube? Anti-Yami here, back at it again with another video. And in today's video, I don't know what's been going on with this deck, and I'm not sure why it's been cooking, but it's been cooking. I think I'm like 7-0 with this deck, right? So I already showcased the White Forest deck. Click on that link up there. I'm bad at this. Up there. To showcase how this deck was just cooking people. And I finally got a Ryzeal match I want to showcase, so it's going to be a very exciting match. So if you guys like the White Forest content and stuff like that, please make sure you guys leave a like and comment down below. It does a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you guys already have not. I'm going to be working on a White Forest Outlish deck for Genesis. So stay tuned for that, because I'll probably be cooking some Genesis stuff in the future, which will be very, very fun. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into this match and showcase the power of White Forest Ryzeal. All right, so we have White Forest Ryzeal here, and my opponent is going first. Very funny about this match, I actually won the die roll, but for some reason I fell asleep and forgot to click go first. So my timer went out and he went first. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose this match, right? So no, this is what happens. So he's playing a Ryzeal branded and is more heavy on the branded side. Well, I guess it's like a mere 50-50 split. It's like a 46 card deck. It was pretty cool, but yeah, he's playing Tragedy, the Aluber, the opening, all that fun stuff. So it's a bigger package than normal on the branded side. So he just Tragedy, search for another Aluber, which is fine. Branded Fusion is added to the hand. And funny enough, I didn't really watch his turn one because I was washing clothes. So I kind of, and he was like, oh yeah, branded. Yeah, this is going to be a long one, bro. I'll see you in about 5 minutes. So he normal summons Cartagia, and then this is how he beats Valor or Imperm, just in case I have it, which is very, very smart. No, I think he used Blazing. I'm sorry, I went so fast. He went Blazing Cartagia to dump the Famena and the Aluber. So never mind. Forget what I said. So Famena's gonna set the Rahu, and then he's gonna add back 2. Rahu is gonna dump Urgula and Famena from hand, which is fine, making the Grenimal. And then that's gonna start set the Flame. And then Urgula is going to add back the Famena, and then Branded Fusion is going to come down, and that is going to make our Lebellion. And that dump the Malulu and the Fallen Albaz, and that's going to set a Sting here. And then this is going to make our Mirror Jade. This inboard is looking crispy. Then he goes Famena, sending the Aluber and the Blazing Cartagia to make our Granganol. Granganol is going to dump a Albion, and then he's going to pass turn. So this is going to set the Fallen of the Virtuous, and this card is not fully out yet. It is out, but the artwork is still, you know, being worked on. And this right here is giving me ideas that I might want to cook up a White Forest branded deck. I don't know how I will make it, but for some reason, I want to mess with that idea. It probably won't play Branded Fusion, but it's going to play this card. And I think this card is very interesting. And I like this card. So if you guys don't know what this card is this is the Falling of the Virtuous. And this card is always treated as a Branded or a Dogmatica card. And you can activate one of these effects. Send one of the monsters that mentions the Falling Albaz from your extra deck to the graveyard, and then target one face-up card on the field and destroy it. If you have an Ecclesia in the graveyard or on the field, you can target one monster in either player's graveyard, which is kind of cool, and special it to your side of the field. So yeah, this being an interruption the way it is crazy. It's like interruption, follow-up, and an extender. It's pretty good. So we're dealing with Sting, Flame, and the Virtuous, which is really, really good. Adds back Blazing Cartagia, and we got a really chunky board to get through here. So my hand is also very broken for not opening any hand traps or, you know, any going second cards. But hey, we got Engine. And sometimes White Forest just got that push, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this, and it's weird because I thought about this and I went for the Ryzeal here. Typically I would go for the Regina to kind of, not Regina, the Sylvia here to just kind of like negate something or whatever. But for some reason I was like, I'm gonna search Wanted, because Wanted is gonna do something for me, which in theory I feel like it doesn't make any sense, but hey, you know, whatever. Maybe I thought he was gonna pop it or something. I don't know what I was thinking. And I know here this is like a Droll check too, so I think I did this to check for Droll as well. And what if I search Wanted, I could chain Wanted and maybe do something with that. I have no idea, but I went with this to check to see if he has Droll, because I think I know he has one unknown card in hand. So yeah. And by the way, he doesn't have Femina in the hand, which is fantastic. His board is still crazy, but he could have ended on Femina. That would have been even more crazier. So we go ahead and search for Wanted here, and then we're gonna normal summon our Ice Ryzeal, which, see, this is the reason why I felt like making the Omni Negate make more sense, because now we have a guaranteed way that Ice Ryzeal will just resolve, which it should resolve, but based off of all the cards he had in rotation. And then now we're going to summon out our Sword Ryzeal, and then our Sword Ryzeal is going to activate itself to search out for X Ryzeal. And then this is obviously going to trigger our Granganol here to summon the Girl Riding Quim. The fact that he's playing Quim in this too is crazy. So that's going to search for our X. And this is going to dump a Falling Albaz. And then now he's going to go ahead and use the Fallen and the Virtuous to summon, or to dump the Regbrium, Rimbrium. And now it's going to make his Falling Albaz an interruption. So that's really, really good. So he gets to pop, dump, and then fusion summon on my turn as well. So he's trying to stop me from getting access to my rank 4s here, which I was high-key planning on going Exiton Knight. I'm going to let you guys know right now, this card is insane. I'm thinking about maybe squeezing the Babushka in this build, maybe cutting Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel comes up sometimes, but I don't know, man. Babushka be built. It just be Babushka, you know what I'm saying? Babushka. You know, so that's a thing. But yeah, because Exiton Knight destroys, and this also destroys my Arcielago, which gives me another search here, which is very funny. So that's probably what I was thinking in retrospect. But here I went for a holo targeting Arcielago, and he went with the Sting, which banishes my Ice Ryzeal and my holo. So holo is out of the game. It's fantastic, and he draws a card. And funny enough, this still bounces back my monster, so he got some major value off that Sting. So from here, I went for Azet, and Azet is going to pitch the cross. And then we're going to search for Azet Azamina. And then we're going to use that, since we already committed our normal summon to our Ice Ryzeal. We decided to go for Sylvie here instead. So Sylvie is going to activate effect, adding the fill spell here. Okay, and then Mirror Jade is going to banish the Azet. And then now we make our Exiton Knight, and Exiton Knight is going to just rip everything off the field here. So that includes the Flame here, which is gonna eventually beat our fill spell, so it doesn't really matter. So we go Exiton Knight, blowing up everything. This does cut some on Mirror J, and Aluber comes out the graveyard, but we have something for Mirror Jade, which is really, really awesome. And then I get hit with Fua on top of that too, so I was like, Jesus Christ. So the other unknown card was Fua. That was the other hand trap. So next we go for X Ryzeal. Since we control XYZ or level 4 or rank 4s, this will actually get our search here, which is very, very fantastic. And then we're gonna do a little bit of chain blocking here, and we're gonna search for a node here. Then we're gonna special summon node, and since we already have cross out of rotation here at the moment, we're just gonna go ahead and just make a detonator. Detonator effect is going to attach our aggregator here. And then here, we're just going to go full throttle here. So now we're going to go Wanted, searching Black Witch. We're going to activate the fill spell, searching out for our White Witch. White Witch is going to send the fill spell, dumping the Curse of Dilabels. Then Curse of Delibels is going to search for our Phila. And then we're going to activate Phila. And for some reason, I misplayed here. I could have just went Black Witch, send the Vengeance, but for some reason, I didn't do that. So I summoned this instead. I don't know why I didn't do this. And yeah, I went for Battle Phase here because obviously I can't kill my opponent because Exciton Knight states that if this card resolves, my opponent no longer takes any battle damage or takes damage in general for the rest of the turn. So we went into Battle Phase just to beat over this because it doesn't really matter. And then I went Black Witch. I think I was testing for Nib just in case he drew into a random Nib and he wanted the Nib here. You know, I guess that was the idea behind it. So whatever. Realistically, the Exciton Knight was not going to reactivate this effect anyway because my opponent would have played around it. And plus I have too many cards anyway. And then we set our Sylvia here. Really strong. And then Mirror Jade is going to activate, and this card right here protects me from the Mirror Jade effect, which is fantastic. So now we have Betrayal, we have Vengeance, we have White Witch, a Detonator with 3 pops, Ash Blossom. So I'm feeling really good for this. So he go ahead and search for Fallen Albaz. He goes Blaze of Cartesian, Blaze of Cartesia effect. I'll go ahead and decide to pop it with the Detonator. And he's going to send the Tragedy and Fallen Albaz. And that's going to make, he sends the, is it 3 here? Fallen Albaz, Urgula, and the Tragedy here. So he's going to have a chance to bounce up to 3. So he goes for Quim, Aluber, and the Detonator. And then, of course, a whole bunch of Death of the Chain Links, whatever. I decided to chain, and then we're going to pop the Arthur Lion, and then we're going to negate the Arthur Lion, so none of those cards come back to his hand. And these are all going to bring itself back out. He sets the I can't even think what it's called, the Ketu, and we're going to use Vengeance to pop the Ketu, and then we're going to book these 2. And then, of course, our Black Witch is going to bring herself back out by pitching our Ezanina. Again, all these are going to bring itself out. And Aluber is negating the Dilla Bellstar here because I destroyed that fusion monster by card effect. And then Black Witch is going to set a Wanted. And then Wolf is going to book him on his board so he can't beat over my board. So I am very good to win this game on the next turn. And he goes Tragedy, banishing himself, setting the Branded Fusion. And I think the Branded Fusion is dead here because both his Falling Albaz are in a graveyard. So that card, this is not going to do anything. He's adding back Blazing Cartesia for turn. And next, we're going to draw for turn. Of course, it's always Fua because that's what I do. I always draw that card. And then we're just going to go into Battle Phase. We're going to Pierce for 48 here. I'm going to be over this. Aluber is going to bring himself back out. And I made a misplay. For some reason, I forgot how to play against Brandon. So I should have actually beat over both his fusion monsters. Pierce for 48. This is a big misplay because this would end the game on spot. And then Aluber is coming himself back out as another body. And I made a mistake here. Oopsies. And then we're going to use that effect to pop the Branded Fusion, summoning out Arcia. And then Arcia is going to send Wanted to search for Tails. And then I totally forgot about the Rimbrum in the graveyard. So now he's going to summon Fallen Albaz. Albaz is going to fusion summon here and just make more nonsense here. He's going to discard Fusion Deployment. And I think this is being summoned out by its own effect. And then now he's making that new branded card, the one that is ineffective. He has Ecclesia, and if this card is special summoning, you can shuffle up to 2 cards from any player's graveyard and or banishment back into the deck. And yeah, so yeah, it's just basically another wall here. So I'm like, okay. So what I do, he shuffle back his materials and stuff like that, which is really good for him. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let it slide. I didn't crash. I didn't do anything crazy. I let it slide. So the next I'll go for Tails. Going for the Ezet, normal summon Ezet, go into the Queen here. Queen is going to actually add back our Cross, which is typically in pure, you could never do this, but the fact that you could do this in this particular deck is insane. So we're going to activate Cross. Cross is going to draw 2 here by shuffling back 2 of our Ryzeal cards, which is going to be X and the Node. Make an SP Little Knight, banishing the Dogmatica monster. And then we're going to go back into our Vengeance. Vengeance is going to summon itself back out. And then we're going to use Wanted in the graveyard to shuffle back our trap to draw a card. And funny enough, all his monster specs acted in the battle phase, so Talus was not live, which is very unfortunate. Would have been very nice. But yeah, we pass it back to our opponent, and my opponent is virtually on nothing for the most part. But here, next turn, we should clean it up here, right? I actually negated that Blazing Cartasia because that card was very, very annoying. So I went Chainlink 1. He went Chainlink 1, Blazing Cartasia, Chainlink 2, Poplar, summon itself back out. And then Poplar's going to use his effect, his play spell, and the monsters that spell and traps. And I use Cross to negate the Blazing Cartasia because that card just needs to stop. So we're going to go ahead and put these 2 back into our spell and trap zones. This gives us more fuel for the queen here. And it's very, very hard to beat this board. This board is still pretty insane. So he goes into battle phase, or he's trying to attempt to go into battle phase. I went for Poplar effect, and then he goes for the Fallen of the Virtuous to pop it, which is fine. Dumping Red Brim again because it's a card that he shuffled back into the graveyard. It's fine. And then I went SP Little Knight, banishing the Arthur Lion, which means it's going to stay banished forever. And of course, the Aluber comes out the graveyard, negating my Vengeance. Who cares? The most he can beat over right now is SP Little Knight. And yeah, the game is pretty much over at this point. So here I go for Sylvie, bringing back my bringing stuff out the graveyard for the effect of Wolf, or shuffling back the Wolf. And then he gets his Blazing Cartasia back in rotation now. And then here it's just game over. So we basically just go into dual drive because it's funny at this point. And we just swing for game. So that was game number 1. Let's go ahead and hop into game number 2. Okay, for game number 2, my opponent is going first. And we open Bell, Wanted, Node, Droll, and Ice Ryzeal. And the reason why Droll is here is for cross out. So it's not because it's good versus Dracotor or anything like that. So my opponent starts off with the normal summon Malulu and then activates Rahu, making the Arthur Lion, setting the Ketu and the Flame here, adding back the Amphimena, Ketu, adding the Urgula here. And then he goes using deployment, summoning Blazing Cartasia. Cartasia for Granganol. Granganol is going to he's going to dump in a second, but he's going to set this thing and then dumps the Albion, and Albion is going to set the Fallen of the Virtuous, which is a really insane card. So yeah, it seemed like he's not playing the other trap card, which is, I guess, fine because he is playing more of a heavier branded package, so makes sense. So, but this is his 3 sets here, which is very, very strong. Instead of having a compulse, this is more of a pop, which is really good. So I can see this being more effective. So he passes on this. And of course I don't Droll because I can use Droll as a discard fodder. I'm not going to Droll him because it's just not going to do anything. He literally just searched once and it doesn't matter. So here I start with the Ezet. Ezet is going to search out the Rusia, and the reason why we search out Rusia instead of Sylvie is because we have our normal summon Ice Ryzeal here, which is going to give us a little bit more value. So he goes Granganol. Granganol is going to go for the Quim. Quim is going to dump Fallen Albaz. And then next, we're going to special summon our Rusia. Rusia is going to go into the Wolf, and that's going to cut off our Quim here. Then we're going to go normal summon Ice. Ice effect is going to summon out Sword. Sword effect is going to add X. And we are looking pretty good here, right? Next, he's going to go Fallen the Virtuous, popping my Ice Ryzeal, dumping Rimbrim. Pops that. And then here, I decided to go for another Exiton play here, right? By using Rusia, bouncing back our Wolf. And we get met with a Sting here, which is pretty self-explanatory. Makes sense. So I said no to that. I go Bell. Bell negate. And then he goes Requiem effect to go into Falling Albaz. Albaz is going to pitch. Pause. Jesus. It's going to go into discarding Blazing Cartagia and makes the Mirror Jade with my White Forest monster, which is really strong. Next, I go X Ryzeal. X Ryzeal is going to dump Aggregator, which is going to try to negate the Mirror Jade, and then I'm going to search. He goes Mirror Jade, banishing because it forces the Mirror Jade here. And X Ryzeal is going to just search another sword, which is just great for me. And then after that, I'm going to special summon a sword, go into Dual Drive effect to attach, and then he goes into the Femina. And then from here, it's just nothing I can really do here. He goes into the Philia Regius, and as soon as I activate this effect, which I'm going to, he's just going to banish the Dual Drive, and pretty much just the end of the game. But anyway, I decided to go for Node. Node is going to discard the Droll, and we're going to go for Sword, and this is going to go for the Exiton Knight, because at this point, I just kind of conceded. Dual Drive is not going to beat anything here. It's not going to be enough. Dual Drive is just not Dual Drive. Detonator is not going to be enough for here. So I went this play just because it's funny. And then Mirror Jade is going to YP ass back. And then I just kind of scoop here. So I scoop. All right. Onwards to game number 3. All right. So we're on game number 3. And hey, guess what, guys? He's playing a branded deck. I don't see him on many hand traps. We're about to go full dummy here. So let's just go ahead and go dummy here. First, we're going to activate Normal Summon Sylvie. The reason why we went for Sylvie instead of X or Ice Ryzeal, because Ice Ryzeal acts as an extender where Sylvie does not. So if this gets hand trapped, then we can push with the Ice Ryzeal. It's fantastic. And it also does trigger our curse, which is really funny. Let me make sure that does, because I feel like I'm lying for some reason. Yep, send from the hands of the graveyard or banished. So yes, Ice Ryzeal does trigger that, which is really good. Really good synergy there. And then we're going to go ahead and search for our tails here. Next, we're going to go into our Dillabells. Dillabells is going to dump our tails here. Tails is going to reset itself. We're going to dump our Vengeance here. We're going to activate tails, searching for our Zet. Our Zet is going to pitch Curse, and now we're going to search for our Ezet Azamina. Curse is going to activate, adding the Phila, and then we're going to go ahead and take both of those and turn those into a Arcia. Arcia is going to discard the Phila, adding the Fill spell, and then of course we're going to summon Azamina Ezet for an extension. This is pretty much bread and butter White Forest stuff, so there's nothing here that's really new. This is gonna add back the tails, and then we're gonna add Deception, and then yeah, this is White Forest 101 stuff. Like, I don't think we need to talk about that. I'm gonna get rid of the Ice Ryzeal from my hand because I'm gonna basically go into the combo anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We make Dual Drive. The Arcielago is going to add Wanted, and then we're going to shuffle back the Azamina, go Wanted, the Hollow combo. You guys already seen this. We're going to SP Little Knight, and then we're going to activate the Witches of the White Forest. And that's going to add our Arusia, summon Sylvie from the graveyard, and then summon Arusia. Arusia is going to draw us into another fill spell. Funny. Follow up. Go into Dual Drive. Detach 2. Adding Cross and Sword. We're going to activate Ryzeal Cross, special summon Sword. Sword is going to add our X Ryzeal. X Ryzeal is going to summon itself out, dumping the Aggregator, and then we're going to go into Detonator. Fantastic stuff. We're going to attach the Aggregator from the graveyard. Go Black Witch sending the Dual Drive, because now that's going to make me draw off of the Cross here, which is going to set our way better trap card Betrayal. I stand by that. And then we're going to summon our Vengeance, and our Vengeance is out to play. And then, of course, our Affiliates is going to boost our monsters by 500, and then we're going to draw 2. We see he drew into a Call by the Grave, which is great. And then we go Wanted. And then Wanted put back to Deception, drawing it to an Ash Blossom, which is really good. So yeah, I don't know if any deck in Yu-Gi-Oh can beat this inboard. Even with Dark Willow, Super Poly, Regeki evenly matched, like there's just nothing you can do. This is a lot of interruptions here, like realistically. A lot of interruptions, a lot of follow-up, just a lot of going on here. So we pass it back to our opponent. Our opponent is going to Normal Summon a Luber. I'm like, yeah, sure, man. Add Brain Infusion. I don't care. And then he goes Harpy Feathers Duster. That's going to be met with the Betrayal. And then he's going to chain Virtuous, targeting the Harpy's Feather Duster to dodge it to blow up my back row. And I went Sylvia Negate. Okay? If you got the call out of grave, you got it, buddy. You're good. You're goated. Turns out he doesn't. Black Witch is going to bring itself back out by sending the Witches of the White Forest. Don't really need that card's follow-up. Realistically, we have Tails in our hand. Which is Black Witch is going to set the Wanted as more follow-up. Brain Infusion is going to be met with the Ash. Oh, the classic. The classic. And that is just going to wrap it up because there's just no more pushes he can do here. I still got like 1, 2, 3 interruptions, 4, 5, 6, 7, Call by the Grave 8. I still have like 8 interruptions on the board, bro. Like it's just over. And plus we got extreme follow-up. So anyway, guys, again, I hope you guys enjoyed that. White Forest is actually kind of insane. Like it has in my personal opinion, it has a pretty decent Ryzeal matchup. It has a really good Yummy matchup. And as you guys can tell, it has a pretty decent Dracotail matchup. I don't want to say like super decent, but I think it has the capability of pushing through the inboard because as you guys can tell, it just did. Like you saw game 1, right? So White Forest, if Droll didn't exist, would be a really good top tier contending deck. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your night. Peace.